Hello, everybody. It's me, Maris. I hope you're having a groovy day. I'm going to wait a couple minutes here and see if we get more people popping on here. I hope everybody's doing wonderful today. It is Wednesday, and I know I just did a reading yesterday, and you guys, why is she back doing another one? And I'm like, well, I just had this inclination, kind of like a desire, or, okay, no, those aren't what we're doing. Oh, hold on, I'll be right back. There I am, I'm right back. I just felt like I needed to do another reading for some reason. There's a lot of very bizarre, interesting energy that is around. Some of it is kind of volatile, and some of it's really groovy. It really kind of depends on what your take is and what you're going to do with it and where you're going with it. I'm really kind of excited for my part. I'm going to I've open up. Well, I'm actually opening up a little studio at home, so I can work at home and have a little bit different, crazier hours maybe for the online stuff, or coming on and doing videos and connecting with my folks that are following from other countries, because to me it's always pretty interesting. All right, so we're just doing our little quick reading for a Wednesday evening. Kind of like what's the Wednesday? So it's Wednesday in my world, and it's probably Thursday in some of the other worlds, other people's places or where they're living. And so just kind of wanted to touch base. And okay, it looks like we're just going to go with this one. So let's take a look at it. Looks like only one card came flying out. Okay, I get the message. Okay, and so I'm laughing when I see this card. It's the seer card, and so that's like that person, the fortune teller. And you can even think about maybe like the carnivals or the fairs, and the fortune teller has her caravan, her wagon, or maybe she is in a tent, something like this, like at a fair, festival, etc. And a lot of times we kind of poke fun at the idea of the fortune teller, or looking, that kind of um, persona. That's the word I want to use, that persona of it. It's kind of like, look into my crystal ball and see what is going on through there. And so it's like we're anticipating this crystal ball that's going to show us something through here. But the message is really loud and clear, and it says, see beyond the current situation. Deep into it, there's other things that are going on that will actually change the direction of where we are going through there. So we have to kind of like look deeper into it. Have you ever played, and I've got one right here now, have you ever played around with a crystal ball? I mean, and we can have a quartz crystal. It can be rose quartz, smoky quartz. I can't remember the name of this one. But it's an interesting sphere, and it's more about focus and direction. So when you start to meditate this evening, or this afternoon, whatever your time frame is, it's a really good idea to ask for some focus, or ask for clarification in what's going on. Show me, what is this really about? So a lot of times when I'm meditating, that's what I'll say, and I use the phrase, show me. Show me. Show me, Spirit. Show me, Universe. Show me, Big G. Show me what I need to know, or show me what I need to see. Because what we're doing right now is that we're looking at all of this information that's right in front of us, but we're taking it at the value of what it is on the superficial or the outside layer. Think of it like, I'm going to pick on McDonald's. right now. You know, the restaurant, the Golden Arches, that's what I call it, the Golden Arches. And you look at an ad for, oh, the McRib, or, you know, the big fancy Angus Big Mac thingamajiggy wiggy, something like that. And you look at that ad, and superficially, when you're looking at that ad, you're like, that is so delicious. I can't wait to try that sandwich. And then when you get that sandwich and you take a bite, that sensation or the vibration, the energy of that food that's now in your mouth does not match the picture of the sandwich that you ordered. You know, you're looking at the menu and you're like, that looks so good. I mean, think of how many times you looked at a menu and you said, that looks really good, and you order that plate or you order that sandwich, and then you get that sandwich and you're like, whoa, that looks nothing like it did in the picture. Okay? That's this vibration that we're looking at when it says about seeing beyond that current situation. We're only looking at the outside of it and how awesome it might look or how bad it might look. And we're not getting the true information or the true information or the true foundation, whatever, of really what's going on behind the scenes or down below. We may look at it and say, oh, that's like the grossest, most horrible this or that food, person, whatever. And then when you really get to see beyond that current situation or that outer layer, then you realize, okay, now we got another card flying. Then you realize how awesome that it truly is. Okay, so one of the things about looking, that's so funny, about looking beyond the superficial or the wrapping of the gift or the wrapping of the whatever, is that you learn about some of the truths of who people are, or what these events or what these groups or whatever. You learn about the truth, the intrinsic, not so much the honeymoon, what you see on the outside, but you start to see what's on the inside. And that's the part that really makes people uncomfortable, because we've grown accustomed to seeing or believing in a particular way. Think about when you were a kid, and this is that time of year, when you were a little kid, and you anticipated Santa Claus coming to town. And it was a really big deal. You'd even go on the news. And this is how you knew that Santa was real, because he was on the news. And they had the Santa tracker. And so they were tracking Santa Claus as he was traveling across, you know, all of the many continents of the world. And so we have this belief system about Santa Claus. And then one day you find out that all of those Christmas presents that Santa Claus put underneath that Christmas tree were actually in your mom and dad's closet. And so you start putting two and two together, and you realize, you realize that truth. And, you know, sometimes we feel kind of stupid on that. And sometimes, you know, we're like, oh, wow, okay. And we move on. All right, let's take a look at the card that flew out. So this card flew out, and I'm over here, and I was like, come on. There's got to be more to the message other than seeing beyond the current situation. And a lot of times we feel very, very much alone, especially when, and I'm going to say this, especially when you kind of understood, or you've kind of known what's going on around you. Hey, Linda. And you're like, you know, I'm pretty sure that was going on over here, or in California, or New York, or whatever, you know, down in Oklahoma. And then everybody's like, no, 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 man, things like that don't happen. And then it comes out and you find out that it really did happen, and you're like, yeah. And you feel that uncomfortable little feeling there. So we tend not to want to open up and share the things that we see, or share the things that we believe, because we might be called wackadoodle or cuckoo or whatever. So we tend to be really, really quiet. And so as we start looking deeper into situations that are going on around us, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be coming up and realizing or being awakened to some truths that will probably feel a little bit uncomfortable. And so guess what? You're not alone in this. When you're feeling weak and vulnerable, talk to your guardian angels. And you're like, I don't know who my guardian angel is. And I'm like, just say, Archangel, show up. Any of you, Archangel. I myself, when in doubt of who to talk to, archangel-y wise, I'll just go, hey, Metatron, hook a sister up, bring me some peace. Archangel Metatron is kind of like the big kahuna up there. And everyone goes, I thought it was Michael or Gabriel. And I was like, it's like Metatron. So if you need assistance, just say, Archangel Metatron, help me. And then you'll realize that you're not alone. You're not alone in your belief system. You're not alone in, hey, Ginger, you're not alone in your belief system. You're not alone in this planet. You're not alone in this community. You are surrounded. Everybody may not be on the same exact page, but I bet you that 99.9% of us have something that's interconnecting us. And so we're not alone. It's just sometimes we feel like we're alone, but we're not alone. So when you do feel alone, just go, hey, Metatron, hook a sister up, hook a brother up, hook a whatever you want to call yourself up. Be there and be willing to listen to it. Because sometimes it's a little uncomfortable, but that uncomfortableness actually allows us to grow. So, okay, we've got one that came flying out because I was going to say in closing, and so this one came out in closing. I love it too. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, see from a higher perspective. Think about, what does that eagle do? That eagle flies very high up in the sky. Sounds like a song, right? That eagle flies up really high in the sky. And he's looking at the broad perspective of everything that's going on in that eagle's territory. Whether it's the male or the female doesn't make a difference. Okay, so that eagle is up there high in the sky and is looking at everything from their perspective that high up in the sky. And then as it hones into something that's either going to be a food, a food, a friend, or a predator, or a foe, it's going to start honing into that depending on what's going on, and then and what is needed at that given moment. And it'll hone in, and it'll get to that very narrow point and take care of business. Okay, that is what you need to be working on at this time, is take your situation and map it out to the whole big situation, and then narrow down on the things that you can work on or that you can fix with. And knowing that you're not alone with that, and that right now, the things that are going on is just superficial, and I'm going to call it minutia. That's the fancy word for BS. Look over the minutia. Look over the fancy BS. Look over all of that stuff and look to see what is the true message that's through there. And if you're feeling weak and vulnerable, don't forget, ask your archangels or your guardian angels to step in and step up. Now, if you work with angels, angels are always hanging around. They just may not reach out and start yik-yakking or talking to you, that they are going to require you to be reaching out and connecting to them. So like you're driving down the road and you're bored and you're like channel surfing on the radio, turn your radio off and just start talking to your angels, and you will just see this big, huge difference in your life. Angels are really cool. They have a really good grounding energy, and they help us see from different perspectives. And they're a heck of a lot more gentler than our Aunt Marge or Grandma Gloria, okay? They're going to be really, really loving in the way that they come across, and they teach us and guide us and lead us to be the best people possible. Sometimes that can be such a heavy feat with me, okay, because, yeah, well, peace, love, and harmony. I'm going to end it on that one. And don't forget to reach out to your angels. They're really groovy. I love working with them.